better at.
Yeah. So the main thing that you need to remember with this game is it is your economy that will win you every war.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how many bodies you throw if you don't have guns to give them.
Yeah, very, very true. As Edifice from last time, where I had like 1 gun for every 3 people, which was
Jesus, that was so miserable.
That was bad. That was so bad. I didn't realize I'd fucked up that badly. Also, I realized another thing that I screwed up too.
You lost more bodies than Cameron had guns.
I know, and I realized another reason why that would have been. I opted for dispersed, for the dispersed production as opposed to the focused production, which I fucked up. So
no, actually, dispersed is usually pretty worthwhile if we're going long games. You get more benefit out of it.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought you. Yeah. I remember you telling Cameron that if you did dispersed, it's more for if you like offer like all the different branches and factions like air, sea, land, all that shit. And then focus is purely for like one style or something like that. That's how I heard it, but I guess I misheard it.
You're mostly correct in that, but for longer games where you're going to be expanding into each of the different, or where you're able to expand to become a really strong nation and have lots of factories at your disposal to build tanks and guns and planes and things like that, disperse is definitely the better way to go. In Cameron's case, Cameron only has one thing that he had to worry about, and it was guns, with a second focus being for support equipment and a third focus for artillery if he's lucky.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So it's better to be a jack of all trades than it is to be a master of one. Okay, it's that scenario all over again.
More or less, and
also obviously it depends on which country you're playing as too.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Cameron starts out as incredibly small, and while he has the potential to become massive, quite effectively at that.
Right.
It's that getting there that's the problem. And Concentrated is his way to get there. In your case, you already start as what is quite possibly the most powerful nation in the game. So you might as well just exploit that power. I need a name for today.
Whipping boy gets good. the get good sesh. I'll make another cup of this stuff. So I have something to sip on. Oh, but in other news though, I finally graduated from breeding all my Pokemon to training them.
Good.
Yeah. All like almost 300 of them fuckers. But luckily, I mean, training everything in Sword and Shield is super fucking streamlined, so it's not that hard. And also getting vitamins and like actually like EV training them, IV training them, it's super fucking easy. So I'm already like, I think, let's see. I think about 30 Pokemon in. I'm already like 30 Pokemon in. I'm still training them like 6 at a time, so.
I sent you the lobby information whenever you're ready.
Sweet, thank you, sir. Okay, so pretty much same as usual. Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, un momento. Just gonna set this Gamer Subs to the side so I can sip on it as we play. There we go. Sweet. So yeah, I hope Cam and Farron aren't too like mad at me over butchering what was quite possibly the most horrendous show of force.
Okay, I'm gonna level with you. That's not what they got upset about. That part doesn't matter too much.
Right.
It's the fact that we're basically bogged down waiting for Cameron to actually be able to get a strong enough internet connection and his computer to be able to play again. And that's like a 3-month window now.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Cool. So it's
scheduling conflicts from hell, but you roll with the punches when you can.
Uncle Touchy's pussy? What the fuck?
You read that wrong.
Uncle Touchy's puzz?
Try the one on the other side, underneath where it says server is up.
Oh, Uncle Touchy's puzzle plus basement. Okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to be underscore, but it came out as a plus instead for some reason.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, sorry. It said PUZ ... and so I was like, wait.
Yeah, I know. So
yeah, so again, I I'm sorry about Cam, and I'm sorry that my new missionist bogged us down a bit. I mean, I know that it wasn't like 100% me, but I know I didn't exactly help the matter.
Hey,
but
it's no worries. And again, this was one of those things I realized, oh crap, he's not at all proficient in this game, and we need to get there.
yeah,
So,
exactly. It's mainly just so many different systems that I'm not used to. I mean, I'm a quick study for the most part. Once I just get, it's just repetition is what it is. That's what I got to do. And it doesn't help that I had like, I mean, the guy was trying to help me out. I mean, not dogging on him. The guy was definitely trying to help me out. But when I've got like you guys trying to tell me something and then chat like just blasting me like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, you do this. It's sensory overload. And so it's the same issue like when Tick's trying to teach me like Dragon Ball FighterZ, like, oh, you got to do D1, D5, and then I'm like, I don't fucking know what any of that shit means. Give me a second.
D1, yeah.
I'm like, okay, D1. But here's the thing. When he says D1, that doesn't mean like the letter D and then 1. That means like down on, it means like down left on the number pad if you're looking at it.
Yeah.
And apparently that's like the general language for the FGC, and I'm just like, I don't fucking know what any of this shit is. Talk to me in Smash Brothers terms, and then we'll be okay. Okay, so you chose France.
You need to play with the Soviet Union.
You need me in Soviets. Okay, I can do Soviets.
The reason why is because in terms of the major powers, they are, in my opinion, the simplest to learn.
Oh yeah, no, easily, because I mean they have all the bodies in the world, and it's if I fuck something up, it's easy to rectify for the most part.
It's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the Soviet Union does not give a flying fuck about Navy, and Navy is the hardest aspect of this game to learn.
Exactly, and we can worry about that later. Because I mean, I have a decent grasp of air control. Like for the most part, I have a decent grasp on air control. Now, remind me, we started off. Did we start off on Stalin Constitution or Great Purge? I think it was Constitution.
I always recommend. So your opening moves is the Soviet Union.
Right.
This is one of those things where you need to vastly consider what your goals for this game are, and who your enemies in achieving that goal is going to be.
Okay.
In our case, our goal is going to be to defeat the Axis.
Right.
I think that's a straightforward enough goal that we can actually work with.
Oh yeah, easily.
So, to that end, the simplest way for you to do that is going to mean that you're going to have to beat Germany, and you're going to have to beat Italy because they're in the Axis, and you're going to have to wait for something to happen with Poland because they're in the way.
Right. Okay. And also,
you might also have to potentially beat Japan.
Right.
But again, step at a time. So, in my opinion, the strongest opening move that the Soviet Union has is the Stalin Constitution. Okay. Because that political power boost is enough to get you into war economy in the first 70 days, as opposed to civilian economy.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
And the reason why that's beneficial is because you're spending 35% of your civilian factories on consumer goods when you're in a civilian economy.
Right.
Which means which means you're playing with around half your factories available at your disposal to build with.
Okay.
And it ramps up as you go further down. You can go to early mobilization, partial mobilization, war economy, or total mob. And they each have different stats going with them. Total mob is when you start having this point where you have more soldiers than you do guns. And you're in the late game for that because you can get your economy going to incredible heights. The main nation that uses total mob is Japan.
Gotcha. And I was about to say, that was the issue that I ran into on my end where I had more people than guns. Okay.
So, if you look at war economy and hover over it, it'll tell you what you get out of it. For starters, you get consumer goods down to 20%, so you get 1/5 of your factories out the door that you don't see.
Right.
You can convert civilian to military and military to civilian for 20% discount. That's not as useful. But what is useful is you can build military factories much more quickly.
Right.
But you also have the benefit of, one, being the Soviet Union, so you have quite a bit of time before Germany is going to come knocking on your door. It's going to be around 1940 to 1942, depending on how the events on this game unfold.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, you don't have to start going into war economy and then immediately start building up military factories. You can spend some time building infrastructure and civilians first, which will help you in the long term.
Series 5 Shuka. Where are you? Sorry, I'm going through my shit, and it says that some outdated shit.
It's probably a submarine.
Yeah, no,
or
it's a sub. So let me go ahead. Early submarine hull. Let's go with that instead. Sure, you want to switch equipment? This makes you lose. Really?
Yeah, because they've already started them in production. You are not going to have to worry about Navy enough. I would just let that run and not worry about the fact that they're outdated.
Right.
No
yeah.
one's going to care.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Right.
Everybody that you're going to trade with anyways is going to be land-based. You don't really need to worry about having a Navy to protect convoys and stuff.
Also, I realized another thing that I really fucked up was the fact that I had all my fucking unit types just mixed in together, which really fucked my shit up.
Yeah, that's not as helpful.
Yeah. So, question: how do I select just one specific type?
Okay. So first, let's get all your divisions into a single army, and we can break them down from there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
So you see the red manpower button up at the top, right? That says unassigned divisions.
Yeah.
If you will if you hover over it, it'll give you a couple of extra tooltips that you can use.
Okay.
The best one is shift-click, because it will select all your unassigned divisions.
Okay, gotcha. And then all I do from there, I go to New Army,
Yep.
Yeah, New Army. Click that, and then I click to assign a commander.
You don't have to worry about a commander right now, even, because what we're going to do is we're going to break down your army based on the types of divisions that you have next.
Okay, cool.
So, the first thing, single-click one division that you want to start with.
Do I click on the icon that, if it's like, say, like the helmet, and it says 73, do I click on that? Or do I just click on...
No. Like, I click on the name of a single instance of a division. So in my case, I have the 42nd EME Division to Infantry.
Uh-huh.
Yours is going to have some other name that's more Soviet-sounding, but is also infantry. Click just under the name for that.
Click just
under. So now you've selected that single division.
Right. And then it says if I double-click it, I select all divisions with the same template.
Yep.
Okay. So from there...
And now you can do that and create a new army that's just those divisions.
Oh, okay. There we go.
And now what you've done is you've filtered out all of those infantry types, which in your case is probably somewhere around 50-something.
It's a butt ton. Yeah, that's about 73 right there.
Okay. And which infantry did you click? Did you do the ones with the red arrows pointing down or the regular ones?
Let's see. So the one that I selected, it didn't have any of the arrows on them. However, when I go back to the original one, it says that all of those with the helmets on them, they have 3 arrows pointing down. Do I need to select those as well?
Those are reserve divisions.
Divisions.
Go to recruit and let's go to recruit and deploy, and we're going to change the icon on that so it's easier to find.
Okay, cool.
So recruit deploy.
All right, recruit deploy right there. I'm just going to choose a skull. I'll just do that.
You can do that. The one I like best for this is actually the castle symbol from chess, because it's really easy to remember. Those are exclusively defensive divisions.
Oh, okay. So that's what that means. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you. Just that's what I like personally.
I mean, well, it makes sense though. Yeah.
And it makes it so much easier trying to sort the divisions that you need.
Okay, got it. Okay, and then
so now you can split all of your different army types into whatever you need from there, just following that same method.
Right. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and split all these off into mounties, horses, and shit.
Okay.
So, bam. I mean, might as well have them all divvied up properly, you know? So.
I think so. And then, if you need to, you can always group them back up by reassigning divisions to different armies and things.
Right.
So go ahead and do that, and you let me know when you're ready to move on to whatever the next thing is we need to resolve, and we'll go from there.
Right. Okay. So I've got all of them in one thing. Do I need to worry about putting a commander to each of them right now, or are we just not going to fuck around?
I wouldn't worry about it yet. Okay, you're going to lose about half of your commanders to the purge anyways.
That's literally what I was just thinking too. Also, I remember, and this is another thing that I did kind of screw up a little bit. So you sent me a message describing what the division size and designer that I should be messing with. You said it was like...
Yeah, that's in recruit deploy.
Yes. Okay, and I'm right there. Now, just for sake of practice, can you remind me what the size and stats were for? Or can you send that to me in the chat?
Or we can just play around with it now, and you can see what it is I'm talking about. So if you're looking at a division template, so where you see the options for train and edit, click edit for one of them. You don't have any army experience, so you can't save this anyways.
Okay.
You can change out those different types as you need. The helmets are just infantry. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, see, actually, I was gonna have it set to for like division designer. Like I clicked on division designer, or should I just go ahead and just make like an edit to the Strokovaya, whatever the fuck is that basic military division? Or...
Whatever you want to do, it's going to work out either way. You're not going to be able to save it. You don't have any army experience.
Fair. Okay, so I'll just go and just do that just as a base. So as you were saying, I'm sorry. And by the way. If it does get annoying with that I interject on you, just let me know. I'll back up.
No, you're fine.
It's only because I'm like in the moment I'm like thinking of something or like something clicks in my head. I'm like, oh, this is what you meant, and something like that. Because this, I mean, to the guys in the chat, this is like just a training sesh. This is just basically like Ethan said at the very beginning. If you guys caught it, it's to get me proficient with the game so I know what I'm looking at. Instead of like having somebody bombard me saying like, oh yeah, you need to drag your shit all the way down Beijing. I'm like, I don't. Fucking okay, cool. So, anyways, as you were saying, Ethan, my bad.
So, designing divisions. The base infantry that you start with is usually kind of just okay. They're not great.
Right.
In my case, the numbers that you want to pay attention to most of the time are in the middle column at the very bottom on that stat page. Combat width is usually the one that's most important for you.
Interesting. Okay.
Because that determines how many divisions you can slam into a battle at any given time. There is a total of 160 combat width that is for both sides. And when you're fighting against someone, that 108 or 160 gets split evenly to start with, so you both get 80.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, how many divisions, based on their size, determine how many engage in battle at a given time.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's like a tidal wave. So you have the first bit there, and then you have like all that force behind it to keep pushing it for sustain. Okay.
Right. So if you attack with, let's say you have a combat width of 20, because that's a good baseline to start with.
Okay.
That means that you could fit 4 divisions against whatever it is they're putting up against. And then that 5th division that you have goes into what's called reserves for a battle. And whenever you have a division of yours that's tired or too wounded to continue, they'll cycle out, and your reserves then get an opportunity to try and reinforce in.
Okay, see,
but
that makes sense.
They have to wait until combat width is capable of supporting them otherwise.
Okay.
There's a little bit of flubbing with this that the game does sometimes, where if you're like 3 or 4 over, it'll let you go for it, but you get a penalty on your attack that's exceeding combat width or defense or however it works out. There's a little bit of give, but not much. The ideal numbers usually are divisible from 80. So that's 8, 10, 20, and 40. Of them, 40s are the strongest but require the most amount of equipment and the most amount of manpower.
Obviously,
which you're capable of getting to, but it takes time to do that. So, say you want to add a infantry brigade to this. So find one of your pluses that you have, the option for click to add, and add one of your infantry. And you see that your combat width goes up by 2.
Right, yeah, so it went from 18 to 20. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this would be a good defensive or a good infantry division just to have on its own, because it's already in that magic increment of 20.
Right.
But we can do better than this based on the next most important stat, which is in combat stats at the very top. It's soft attack.
I was about to ask you what the difference was. Yeah.
If you hover over it, soft attack will tell you it's how much attack the unit can make versus enemies with low hardness.
Okay. And then hard attack is how many attacks the unit can make versus enemies high hardness. Oh, okay. So so that's what it kind of meant by piercing, didn't it?
Yeah. So if you do you see underneath combat width where it's got the little bar and it's got a tank on one side and a helmet on the other?
Yeah. Oh,
that's your hardness meter, and if you hover over that, it'll tell you how much damage each of one type that division will take.
Oh.
And in the case of infantry, it takes 100% of soft attack and 0% of hard attack.
Okay, gotcha. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah. So, in the case of infantry fighting against infantry, soft attack is the name of the game.
Okay. And then when you're fighting against, like, say, tanks and shit like that, hard attack is the name of the game.
Heart attack is important, and piercing is important because you want to be able to get through their armor.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
But
Cool.
again, we'll come back to that. Let's focus on soft attack for right now.
Sounds good.
So right now, my soft attack for my division is 72.
Okay. And so
I don't know what yours is, but 72 is the attack value that I could do against another soft target.
Right. And I mean, if I were to add an infantry unit onto mine, mine goes up to 75. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Each infantry is worth roughly 3 to 6 soft attack, depending on how you look at it.
And on top of that, it gives you the breakdown right in front of you, too.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, you can see how each of these different things change. But the thing that's best for soft attack is using artillery.
Okay.
So, if you click on one of your helmets, you get an option to change it. Change it to change it from 1 infantry to 1 artillery, and you can see your soft attack climbs massively.
Oh, yeah, and I was about to say, jumped up to 88.
But if you also look, you see that your combat width also goes up by 1 because you've changed from a type that's worth 2 in combat width to a type that's worth 3.
Hey, by the way, what does... Okay, so I noticed it says adjusters as well. What is that on the bottom right there? So it says, like, you know, forest, hills. Oh, okay, so basically whatever it's affected by in terms of terrain. Okay.
Yeah.
River, forest. Okay. Yeah.
With your base infantry, you get a small bonus to movement in forest and a defense bonus in forest, and it goes through each of the different terrain types and tells you the boot is movement, and you either take a penalty, a neutral, or a bonus to it. Mm-hmm. Same with attack, same with defense. And that lets you know which type of divisions you want to be using based on which type of terrain you're doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's forest, hills, jungle, marsh, fort, river, and amphibious. Plains is neutral and is neutral on all these. So
right,
you get no
there's
bonus
no
or
like
penalty.
actual like difference in elevation, stuff like that. There's no like effort there. It's a flat plane.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, I noticed that it also says breakthrough as well. If I hover over like mountaineers or anti-air or paratroopers or whatever, it says breakthrough. I'm assuming that's like it's able to bypass it essentially.
Kind of. Again, we'll come back to that. I'm explaining what all the stats are right. So, to that end, with soft attack, the ideal template that I find, especially when you're up against just the AI, is 7 infantry to 2 artillery. Because that brings your combat width to 20, so you can get 4 of them in a battle at once. And you get the most amount of soft attack for the least amount of equipment investments.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And when you do this, you see that your soft attack climbs to a respectable number, especially starting out, and mine is in triple digits now, which is important. Your heart attack goes up just a little bit because artillery provides a little bit of that. Your defense goes down just a little bit. Defense is the opposite of soft attack, so that's the two that are working against one another.
Okay.
And then you were talking about breakthrough. If you hover underneath that, whenever you're on offense, breakthrough is... So soft attack is you trying to overcome their defense and deal damage to their organization or their strength. Mm-hmm. That's when you're attacking. But they're attacking you with their defensive stat at the same time, and breakthrough is how much of that you will be able to shrug off with each each hour that passes in combat. So higher breakthrough is always better than lower breakthrough, but it's not as important to prioritize as soft attack is because you still have to be able to punch through their defense stat in the first place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then underneath that is armor, and when we actually get to armor divisions, we can talk about that. Artillery provides just the smallest hint of piercing, which can make it to where you can get through enemy tanks. It's not guaranteed. It's really, really bad at doing it. But again, you're mostly here for the soft attack, and against squishy soft targets like infantry, a 7-2 is the way to go, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, if you decide that you want to expand that to 40 width, 14.4 is the upgraded version of that. So just start adding infantry and artillery until you have 4 artillery, and you get up to 40 combat width with infantry for the rest, and you can see what type of stats you're looking at there. and you can see that it's basically doubled. But again, this means that you have superpowered divisions at this point.
Right, right.
So that's your basic rundown on division design. And in your case, as the Soviet Union, having 7.2s or even 14.4s is a good place to start with. If you stick with the mass assault doctrine, you're going to be able to edit that just a little bit because your infantry with combat goes down by a little bit.
Right,
which means you can stack more infantry divisions into a division.
Okay, cool. All right, so just for shiggles, I went ahead and put like all of the combat divisions as infantry battalions just to see what it would do for stats and shit like that. So my combat width jumped up to 50, and my soft attack is at 165. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to do pure infantry for that and have 50 combat width, you'd be able to get one of those divisions into a battle.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because it can't exceed 80, so you can't get a second one because then you're 20 combat width over.
Okay.
And it won't. That's too far beyond the budge points.
Right, and you can't have that many people on the battlefield. Gotcha.
Right. So we're talking about efficiency. And in this case, 7.2 or 14.4s are usually the way to go.
7.2, 14.4s.
7 infantry, 2 artillery, or 14 infantry, 4 artillery.
Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Cool. Sorry, jargon.
That's all right. And that's just for the combat side. If you look at support, you have a few options that you can add as well. Engineers are almost always a good choice because they improve your terrain bonuses and give you more entrenchment, which allows you to hold off divisions longer on the defense.
Gotcha.
Support artillery can also be used to give you more soft attack. And since it's not an active combat, you don't lose it as quickly, but you also don't get as much of a benefit for it.
Okay.
Some other choices to consider are recon, which you get 3 different choices for right now, or 4 different choices because of the way they've redone recon. Cavalry is the one that doesn't require any extra type of equipment. It's just infantry and support equipment. Then you could do motorized or light armored tank recon, or the light armored recon company is with armored trucks.
Right.
Or armored cars. And then actual armored recon is with light tanks. And those all increase your ability to gain reconnaissance on your or in your battles, which makes it more likely that you'll pick good tactics. It makes it more likely that you'll win your battle. And usually give you a small bonus to movements.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I'm also setting up my factories and economy and stuff like that because I heard you like messing with stuff. I'm like, I'll go ahead and do my stuff too.
I was just doing research.
Oh, fair,
I know what my opening research is every time. So, since we've gone over designing some divisions and things that you should be looking for infantry, we can go back over tanks later on when you actually have enough tanks that are worth talking about.
Right.
In terms of research, I am always of the opinion that economy research takes priority, so industry.
Yes, that I can agree.
You always want to start with basic machine tools. You always want to start with construction 1. And depending on what type of a nation you're playing, if you need fuel, synthetics can be a worthwhile thing. In your case, you have access to plenty of fuel because you control the Caucasus region, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, all right, so there was my first mistake right there. Okay, so because I was under the assumption that you should always go for basic machine tools first. So what I have right now, I went with, what do you call that? It's the first infantry equipment shit. I chose that pocket defense on my mass assault doctrine, and then I also chose basic machine tools. But you're saying that I should have gone with construction 1 first?
Yeah, I do basic machine tools and construction 1, and then I make my third slot with my second priority, which is research. So in that case, it's electrical engineering.
Okay, so mistake. Easy to remember. No problem.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
The reason why is because your research bonuses stack as time goes on. So right now, you've got a research bonus of, I'm guessing, 5%. Is that right?
Let me see. Yes, 5%.
Yeah, and that's because of export focus. If you finish the first one, which is electrical and mechanical engineering, that's worth an extra 3%, which enables you to go up to 8, and then you can get another 4 on top of that right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're at about a 10% bonus for everything, and it speeds up the time that you have to work with for all of your others.
Oh, fuck. Okay, gotcha.
So keep up with your industry first, because your industry and your economy are how you win your wars. Keep up with your research second, because your research is how you get through the rest of your researches faster.
Exactly. I mean, as shown before, it doesn't matter how many people you have throwing at it if you have nothing to actually hit with. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to the industry aspect of it, so we were talking about it the difference between concentrated industry and dispersed industry. For Russia, in the long game, dispersed is much better than concentrated.
Yes. So if you hover over them, it'll tell you what your benefits are, starting with concentrated versus dispersed. They both give you the same important factor, which is the ability to build more factories in a given state, and they're both in the increment of 20%.
Okay.
The main difference that you see if you hover over the two is concentrated gives you a factory output of plus 15%, but dispersed only gives you a 10% in exchange for efficiency retention, a bonus to efficiency base, and then a bonus on factory vulnerability whenever they're bombed.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not even about like the distance between each factory either. That doesn't actually matter, does it?
No, that matters precisely none. It's the idea of, do we want to have all of our industry be as efficient as possible and stack it on top of one another? Or do we want to have the contingency plan of, our enemy's going to bomb us, and if the entire operation goes down, we're fucked. So don't let the entire operation go down.
So again, it's that conversation of jack of all trades but a master of none. Okay.
Yeah, and you can see that they go up incrementally each time, too.
Right.
So,
yeah, I see that. Okay.
The end result is, the main difference that you're looking at is a 5% production output versus the bonuses to retention and efficiency.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And when you stack all of those up, it's 25% more production output versus 10, 20. I'm making sure this is the same 30. Versus 50% bonus to efficiency retention and a 25% base to efficiency.
Okay.
And in case you're wondering what efficiency is, if you hover over, go to production.
Let's see, production. Right. There we go. Yeah.
So the first item that you have is guns, right?
Right. Infantry equipment.
And you see kind of a gray bar that's above telling you how many you produce per day, and it's got like almost like a stop graph next to it.
Right, yeah.
If you hover over that, that is your production efficiency, which is right now about 50%.
Yeah.
And your efficiency cap is 50.5%, which means that you're at your cap.
Okay.
That will go up as your research improves and will eventually get to 100%, regardless of which research path you take, as long as you're keeping up with your industry.
Yeah, because we're finding out easier ways to crank this shit out. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, you're getting better and better at making more guns.
Right. Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Production efficiency is just how much your factories are actually capable of doing, and when they're at their maximum efficiency, they're at their best.
Okay, cool.
And then production efficiency cap is how high that efficiency can get, and it starts at 50 and gradually increases to 100 as you get better and better research. But if you have a few unassigned factories, right?
Yeah, I've got about 4 of them.
Cool. Start a new fighter plane. It doesn't matter what type.
Okay. New fighter plane. Let's go. I've got fighter 1, strategy bomber. Let's go with inner bomber. Let's do that.
Cool. So click that and then go all the way down to where that bar is, and you can see how it's not gray anymore, it's mostly red.
Right, which means that I have a lack of resources from what it says.
Not necessarily. We're talking about the efficiency bar right now.
Okay.
But again, lack of resources lowers your efficiency. Mm-hmm. And in my case, I start with about 10% efficiency because this is a new type of plane that we're building. But if you see in the parentheses, it'll tell you that it goes up by a certain percent per day. Mine's 0.247% per day.
Right.
Which means from that 10%, we start going up by 0.247 until we get to that 50. this is where dispersed industry comes in, because if you have all your dispersed industry maxed out, instead of starting at that 10% base, you start at 35%.
Okay.
And if for some reason you decided that you needed to switch from, or like to upgrade a type of plane, like say you finish the 1940s planes, but you're making 1936 planes and you go to upgrade them, it's going to kick you back on some of your efficiency, and how much you get kicked back by is determined based on how far down on your dispersed industry you go.
Gotcha.
At its max, you get kicked down 50% less.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's why it's more useful in the long game, because it takes forever to build proficiency or production efficiency.
Okay.
And I do mean forever. Almost 5 evers.
5 evers, yeah. Hey, dude, can't stay, but I'll be. Oh yeah, no worries.
You don't have to keep that. You can totally cancel that production line if you want.
Yeah, no, actually, that's basically what I was gonna. I knew that was just for teaching purposes.
It was solely for the purpose of example.
Now, question. So,
what's up?
Obviously, Soviet Union doesn't exactly concern itself with, naval shit. Why? What's preventing me from going ahead and just canceling out all these ships that are currently in production that I'm not going to use anyways?
I mean, you could. It's just...
Will that do anything?
There's no real need to, because they're not going to sap your industry that much. You're losing a little bit of steel to these ships in the first place, but you have steel to spare.
Okay. So it's a calculated
have your dockyards
sink.
building something, otherwise they just don't do anything.
Okay.
And once these are done, you can just have them build convoys instead, but they'll still take steel anyways.
Okay, gotcha. So it doesn't even affect anything anyways, so might as well just leave it be.
That's kind of my opinion, and you never know when you might actually need these ships, because there have been times where I've been playing as the Soviet Union that I've needed to do a naval invasion from Sevastopol into the Romanian territories.
Mm-hmm.
And having just enough ships to get a naval supremacy in the Black Sea is worthwhile for that.
Gotcha.
Or to harass German convoys way up north in the Atlantic, which you can also do.
Oh, so, okay,
again,
gotcha.
While Navy is not a concern of yours in the sense that you don't have a whole lot of naval power to work with, and most of your battles that concern you are in land and air, you do still need a navy. It doesn't have to be a good navy.
Right.
My point.
It's just for transport, so I gotcha.
Cool. More or less.
Yeah.
And it's protect your transports in case shit goes wrong.
Gotcha.
So, does it matter if you go ahead and switch them all to convoys or let them build out as they are? No, not really, but I figure since you've already started with them on a bonus to production anyways, you might as well let them finish. And it's not hurting you to not let them finish anyways.
Exactly, yeah. It's not gonna kill me to have something in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
cool.
Let's talk about construction, since that's going to be the next thing.
All right. Cool.
So if you go to your construction tab, you see that you have the different choices of infrastructure, air bases, anti-air, military, civilian factories, all of that stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
So the thing that you want to mainly start out building, at least in the first few years as the Soviet Union, in my opinion, are civilian factories.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I was doing. Like a second ago when I said, "Oh, I'm building some factories," that's literally what I was doing. Because I remember you told me infrastructure is key, and so I was looking around for anything that said 60 or above, like 70, 80s. Unless I'm just building as much as I could. I mean, like shit right now. Like I've got 3 more factories being built in Kazan. Because I just noticed it.
Yeah. So when you're building your stuff, you do want to start building in your areas with the highest infrastructure because it gives you the most bonus.
Right.
But when you run out of those areas, what I like to do is get whatever your next closest states are. If they're under 5 infrastructure, or 50% as it says on the thing, I like to build up to that 50 point and then build on top of that whatever you need next.
How do you build that up?
So if you click on the infrastructure piece,
Right.
You can go and see how many you've got in increments of 10 on a given area. Moscow is usually the highest, and I think it's 8 out of 10, right?
Uh-huh.
So that means that whenever you build a factory there, you're getting an 80% bonus to building that factory because you have 8 out of 10 infrastructure. If you have an area, though, that's got less than 5, when you arrive at that point, I like to build it up to 5. But I don't like doing that until I run out of other slots first. And in my case as France, that's not going to happen. Because most of my stuff is at 6. I've got a few 4s.
Gotcha.
But very few. As the Soviet Union, though, where some of your railroads and your people don't live as much, you probably don't have as good of infrastructure in lots of places, and they're probably to the tunes of 3s and 4s, and maybe even a few 2s and 1s.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking at a bunch of, like, 30%, 10%, all that shit. Yeah, like, just minuscule, where there's, like, no point to build anything. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
also, I found the tab I was talking about, saying about building air bases. You know, that... If I'd known about that, that would have been nice. Build a couple of air bases out where I fucking needed them.
Yeah. The thing is, you can't build in allied territory.
Oh, that's lame. Okay.
You cannot build air bases in allied territory. You can only build it in territory that you occupy and control.
Okay, that's fair. Lame, but fair.
Same goes for any of these, actually. Like, you couldn't build a military factory for somebody else. Otherwise, the United States would be easily the most powerful nation in the game because all they'd have to do would be to just start building up all of South America.
Yeah, I was about to say, manifest destiny.
And then they'd be untouchable.
True. Very true.
So, again, I recommend starting with civilian factories, and I recommend building them in your highest infrastructure areas to start with, which in your case, I believe, is Moscow, Leningrad, Kiev, Stalingrad.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Got it. Yeah, and I mean, and obviously, we've got Kharkov, we've got... Where the fuck is Moscow? That's the other thing, too. Need to fucking learn where all this shit is. There we go.
That's your main big cities.
Yeah. Saratov... What was it? It's Stalingrad. Got it right there. What was the other one you said?
Kiev. It's down kind of close to Poland and Romania. It's got a 6 or 7 out of 10 for infrastructure.
I think I might have gotten that one already. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I got Kiev. That's right.
Okay. And again, that's just because those are your main urban centers. So they're usually where you have your highest infrastructure in the first place.
Right. Yeah, because like I said, I was looking for the bigger numbers. So yeah, boom, there you go. I went ahead and started building stuff there instinctively. Okay, makes sense.
So what I recommend doing is building up the maximum amount of civilian factories you can until probably 1938. After that, you probably want to switch over to military factories and just keep going from there. And from there, you probably don't stop building those.
Okay.
But do civilian for 2 years because it gives you a really, really strong economic base to work with because it's only your civilians that you get to use for building everything.
Yeah, and on top of that, when I flip over to a war economy, all those get flipped anyways, right? Like they double as military bases, or is that not how that works?
No. So the way war economy works is it's how much of your civilian factories produce goods for your people.
Okay.
And when you start in civilian economy, it means 35% of your civilian factories produce goods for your people and can't be used to build things.
Oh, okay.
War economy, though, will change that and reduce that number to 20%. So now, only 20% of your factories are being used to make things for your people, and the other 80% can be used to build things, including more civilian factories.
Okay, gotcha.
And while you'll lose some of those to your consumer goods, as it inevitably happens, because it's got to maintain the percentage, and you'll find that the more civilian factories you build, the more it siphons off, it still leaves you with 4 out of 5 for each one of them that you then get to use as more, or to have more to construct with.
Okay. Got it.
There's also some elaborate plans that you can do with nations like the Soviet Union and Germany and Japan, but let's focus on the basics right now.
Of course. Can do. I have a butt ton of factories in the works right now, so yeah. Woo.
Good. So, now let's talk about production.
Okay.
as the Soviet Union, like I said, the main things that you're going to be worrying about are the air battle and the ground battle.
Mm-hmm.
The ground battle is pretty self-explanatory. Make enough guns to keep your army supplied. The air battle is a little trickier with that you have to be able to manage in your case, 2 to 3 types of planes you'll be using. Fighters, attack fighters to try and gain air superiority. They're the best at it.
Mm-hmm.
Other planes still contribute air superiority, but not as much as fighters do.
Okay, gotcha. So I was going about that all wrong anyways. I thought having more like interwar bombers, transport planes, naval bombers, stuff like that. I figured having a more dispersed like style would work out, but I was going about that the wrong way then. Okay, gotcha.
Again, it's all kind of a balance in the first place, but interwar fighters, and as you expand into them with regular fighter planes and go 1936 and 1940s and things like that, the fighter is usually the backbone of an air force, and there's a good reason for that. It's because they're the fastest plane that you have at your disposal, so they give you the most air superiority.
Gotcha.
Which is just a static bonus for a battle that you're in anyways. The next most important one is close air support or tactical bombers, depending on how you plan to play.
Mm-hmm.
Close air support and tactical bombers do a similar function. They both do what close air support does, which is bomb enemy divisions.
Okay, gotcha.
They are the planes that, if you looked at World War II footage and you saw planes diving down to bomb enemy divisions, these are the planes that do it.
Ah, okay.
Naval bombers are pretty self-explanatory. They bomb ships.
Yeah, makes sense. And then strategic bombers that they bomb very specific key points, correct?
Yes, strategic bombers are the heavy planes that are designed to bomb buildings.
Okay.
They are what you would use in order to cripple somebody else's economy. Because if you bomb their factory, they can't use that factory to make more guns until they rebuild the factory.
Exactly.
In the case of the Soviet Union, you can go with a strat bombings or with strategic bombing and be very effective with it because you have enough aluminum to be able to build it and you have plenty of time to get them in the field.
Yeah, so in other words, not only could I hit you hard, I could also say, yeah, you don't have an economy anymore, so you could just sit there and sit there. But as you were saying,
the thing with strategic bombers though is they will not target enemy divisions. They only target buildings.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
So that's worth keeping in mind. Tactical bombers, on the other hand, though, are kind of the halfway point between the two. Tactical bombers are your jack-of-all-trades bomber for being able to not only do close air support and ground attacks, but also do strategic bombing. Mm-hmm. They're not particularly good at either one of them, but they give you the flexibility of being able to do both.
Okay, cool.
In my personal opinion, strategic bombing is a waste in single player because the AI never really bothers with, or is always set to prioritize repairing their factories whenever the war really goes into, like, deep wars.
Okay.
And so they'll constantly be repairing their stuff, which reduces your effectiveness of your strategic bombers overall.
Yeah, it creates a loop. Gotcha.
I think close air support is usually the way to go because I'd rather be bombing their divisions into oblivion.
Okay, fair enough.
But again, it's all about what your choice is and what your nations are capable of doing. The United States and the UK do make really good use of strategic bombers for the simple fact that they get bonuses to their effectiveness for it.
Mm-hmm.
And they get bonuses to the strategic bombing air doctrine, which we'll go over in a minute.
Okay, cool.
So, I recommend prioritizing a good balance between fighters and close air support, and when the time comes where you need to keep up with that technology, you'll probably be advanced enough to do so anyways.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, gotta learn the fundamentals first before I start doing the tricky shit.
And then there's the other two types of things that military factories build, which is infantry and artillery equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You've got guns, support equipment, motorized trucks, artillery, and all the variations of it. So you've got just regular artillery. You have anti-air artillery, which can be used to try and hit enemy planes. I wouldn't focus too much on that because you're going to have an air force that's going to be strong enough to contest anyways.
Right. I was about to say, wouldn't it be better just to have basic towed artillery that would concentrate on tanks and shit?
There's a third type of artillery, which I don't think you have researched yet, which is specifically anti-tank artillery. It's high in heart attack and high in piercing, and as good as a support company for whenever you know you're going to be fighting against armor. But in the case of fighting against the
right
AI,
there. Okay, gotcha.
In the case of fighting against the AI, it's not as worthwhile because the AI doesn't prioritize tanks near as much. Germany prioritizes some, so does the United States, and that's about it.
Okay.
And for the most part, just having good, strong divisions in the first place is usually enough to overcome them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I haven't touched on yet is armored cars. They are a little bit of a wild card right now because people still haven't figured out where they fit into everything. They've got a decent speed, and they have some armor ability, but their armor is so pitiful that it's really not worth investing in. But if you're a nation that is going to be occupying lots of enemy land, especially very early on, investing in these can be worthwhile because they only cost steel, so you don't have to worry about trying to find rare resources for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the highest suppression in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, because it's literally throwing bombs at you. It hits like a truck, basically.
They are designed to quell the populace and are very, very good at doing so.
Okay, gotcha.
But again, you wouldn't know that from just looking at the stats of the armored car itself. You'd have to look at the division template for that to actually be able to understand that. But
okay.
Just know that armored cars are your best option for doing suppression whenever you're occupying territory, but you don't have to build them because cavalry is almost as good.
Okay, cool.
But again, it's one of those things that if you have the luxury of doing so, you definitely can. Depending on how I'm playing, I use them or I don't. It just kind of depends.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, using them is probably not that essential because you're going to have one big war. And you're not going to have to worry about occupying too much territory until the war is done.
Okay.
You don't have to live with the peace of having all of this occupied territory that you have to now quell resistance for.
Because I'll just
and
own
all
it,
the
right? Yeah.
And all the territory that you start with is core territory in the first place, so you don't have to have resistance for that at all, because those are your people.
Mm-hmm.
But say that you were to take out Poland and be super aggressive. When you're occupying Poland, you don't get that as core territory, and the people are not happy that you're owning them, so they naturally resist against you. And suppression divisions help with that. But since that's not a concern for you right now, you don't really have to worry about it. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay, gotcha.
Just know that armored cars are the best for that, but they're not essential. The last bit are tanks. Light tanks are exactly what they sound like. They don't have a whole lot of armor, but they are very fast. Mm-hmm. They are excellent at being able to flank enemy divisions and to cause encirclements.
Okay.
Heavy tanks are exactly what they sound like. They are massive armored monsters that are designed to punch through heavily entrenched fortified divisions. And if you hover over their stats, you can see that it's designed to reflect that with a 95% hardness, a massive score to breakthrough, and a massive score to heart attack.
Okay.
But they're also expensive as fuck.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's a massive mound of steel.
It's more than steel. It's steel and chromium.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay.
In your case, there is a third option, too, but you haven't researched it yet. So if you go to your research tab and go to the armor tab, inside of it, you can see the branch that expands from there, and there's a middle option that's the medium tanks.
Right, yeah, I did notice that.
Everybody in the Hearts of Iron community seems to agree that medium tanks are the way to go for just about any nation that can afford to build them.
Because, I mean, it's a balance of both. They're zippy, but they also don't cost as much to produce, correct?
Yep, they are just quick enough to be able to cause encirclements, and are just strong enough to be able to outlast basically any infantry division under the sun.
Interesting. Okay.
And their production point is, again, the halfway point between medium and heavy, and makes them an ideal choice for most situations. They are the most flexible tank for those that can afford to build them. The main problem with them is that they take a heavy amount of tungsten. And depending on what nation you are, tungsten's not readily available.
Right, right.
In your case, though, it is. So when you get the opportunity to where you can research medium tanks and use them, you definitely should, and we'll talk about a good template that you can use for them when that time comes.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. Sorry, I'm screwing around looking at the 3D models for them.
That's okay.
Yeah,
some of them are kind of fun, too.
Oh, yeah, no, they're really cool.
So let's go back to production. We can talk about what it is that you need to worry about for starters.
Okay, cool. Production. All right, and I still have 4 factories to play with, so.
Okay, and you are currently producing what?
Right now, I have, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 7 infantry equipment, 2 support equipment, 3 motorized, 3 light tank, 1 towed artillery, 1 fighter, and 1 strategic bomber.
I would put another one into fighter, another one into artillery, and the rest into guns.
Okay, that's what I figured. Cool. Yeah, because I was looking at my logistics tab. Right now, I am making... Hold up, let's see here.
You should have everything in red at this point.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was
The
about to say.
Soviet Union does not start in...
Yeah, I've got 41.5 guns, and I need 159. So I've got a deficit of about 118.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. What do you mean? I mean, we're going to fix that, obviously. Yeah. You
will fill that deficit. It's just going to take some time, and that's why you don't have to worry about training a whole lot of new divisions right now.
Right.
As soon as that deficit is filled, though, so the logistics tab is going to be the one you want to keep your eye on the most right now. As soon as that deficit is filled and all of your stuff is green, that's when you want to start training new divisions.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, because I'll have the means to do so.
Mm-hmm. But until that point, not as essential, not really necessary, and you can.
Sorry.
Well, I had something going for that, and I lost what my train of thought was. Not
My
important.
bad.
If you do this right, you will only have to fill that deficit once until you're actually in combat. Oh, I remember what it was. Once you start training divisions, don't stop training them, okay?
Right. Okay.
Just let them keep running until you have what you need.
So basically just set them on an infinite loop, basically?
Pretty much, and don't just train one division at a time. My number that I like to go with is usually around 6 to 8.
Okay. So six divisions each, or 6 divisions total?
6 divisions at a time.
At a time. Okay, cool.
So, like, since you have the manpower and the supposed means to do this, if you go and click on train for your infantry division and click add unit until you have 6, now you're training 6 divisions in parallel. That's usually about what I run.
Well, see, that's actually what I was asking. Like, so you've got your infantry division, your mountain division, your whatever. Do you train like 6 each, or just 6 total?
It depends on what I need at the time.
Okay.
Since I'm usually using infantry, in most cases, I'm usually doing just that. If I'm doing armored, I may drop that, or depending on how much I have to spare in terms of equipment, I may do it all at once. It just kind of depends.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's one of those things you just kind of have to feel out and see how it goes.
That is a piercing green. Sorry, I clicked no location set, and the whole thing just lit up green. I was like, that's a little hard to look at.
Yeah. So what that's doing is that's giving you an option of where you want to deploy your divisions when they're done training.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So that's another question that I had, too. So, I've been sending them off in, like, these really odd, obscure, like, places. I'm assuming location actually matters.
Yes.
So okay, would you recommend putting them in like a more populated area, or a more remote location?
It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
It is exclusively where you need them the most, which front it matters that you're sending them to.
Oh, okay. Again, another instance of me thinking about it in the wrong way. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. No, in terms of where you deploy them for the purposes of how quickly they train or anything, that doesn't matter. It's all the same. Okay. It matters how quickly you want them to be able to get to that front to actually make a difference.
Okay, well, so that was another thing that was kind of screwing us then, because like I had it set up in this like remote section in the north of the Soviet Union, and it would take for fucking ever for them to get over to where I needed them. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Instead, you could have just had them deploy right behind your border with Mongolia, or depending on where you actually need them at the time.
And just had them ready to go. I could literally click them and put them in a division, just send them off. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Damn. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. See, this is what happens when you use your brain, Dylan.
I'm glad that helps.
Yeah, because I was thinking like it on the one hand I thought it didn't actually matter, but then on the other hand I was like it might matter, but maybe it's not to the extent that I think. So yeah.
So that's more or less it for getting everything set up. You don't have any other things that it's telling you need to be addressed at the top, right?
No, I already took care of them. So.
Okay, good.
Oh,
then we're
but before we
unpause.
begin, because I know that this was an issue when we were doing our communist takeover or doing our attempt, should I go ahead on these divisions that I was going to set to train? Should I put them at high equipment priority or just leave them at medium?
Oh, for right now, I wouldn't train in divisions because it's more important for you to fill the gap of all of the reinforcements that you're still missing.
Oh no, I figured as much, and this is I just have it set to where if I need to start training them, I can just click a location, and go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not actually training anybody right now, but in terms of like when I do start to train them, should I leave them at medium?
I understand.
Okay. Yeah.
It depends on what your and how quickly you need those divisions to be in the field. If you need those today, yes, make sure that they get the priority.
Okay, cool.
If you've got more time to work with because you're not at war and you're just looking to keep them filled out, you can keep it at medium, because what it'll do is it'll make sure that everything that's in that tier gets all of their stuff at once.
Cool.
And then it splits it from there. My personal opinion is usually to keep garrisons in the highest priority, because trying to keep occupied territory suppressed is a bitch if you're running a deficit.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
And filling that deficit is usually more important.
Definitely agree.
That is just my opinion. It's entirely dependent on what you're looking for at the time.
Right. And obviously take it by case basis. I understand that.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Just I was more looking for like, you know, a rule of thumb if it actually mattered, or, you know, yada yada. So because I remember like I said, that was an issue that we ran into. So
yeah, my rule of thumb is prioritize garrisons, and then from there, depending on how quickly you need those divisions to go into the fields, put them either with garrisons or just underneath. And then when you actually go to war, I tend to keep reinforcements and upgrades in a lower priority. Operations, it just kind of depends on what I'm doing with them at the time. Those are for all your espionage stuff.
Okay, cool.
In fact, I usually keep my upgrades at low priority just for the sake of it, because I'd rather have guns in the field than have them have the best guns in the fields.
Yeah, you're right. That also makes sense too. All right, cool. Here, give me just 1 sec. I'll be right back, okay?
Oh, no worries.
All right, let's fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we got that going right there. Everything rolling. Yeah, I figured since this one's gonna be like a bit more of a chill stream, I went ahead and just played like a lo-fi playlist in the background.
Whatever works.
Hell yeah. I mean, and I love the now that I figured out what the audio balancing issue was going forward, I realized on Streamlabs by default it's set really low in terms of audio, so you hear me like super clearly, but then we don't hear you like hardly at all.
That does become a problem.
Yeah, and so like I went ahead and rebalanced it. It was an issue that I noticed in my D&D campaign too. Because we would be saying something like,
which, how's that going?
it's going really well actually. So I'm finding out my dice rolls really help because my character has high charisma, so I can do intimidation and shit like that for days. But then in combat, I'm fucking trash.
Okay, so you're a face.
Pretty much, I'm pretty much a face. But I mean, that's how all my characters have always been. Like like, luckily my Hexblade Warrior is built to where his attack stat is based on charisma. So, because I mean, because the Hexblade hits with a charisma, so I can hit like a truck. But my dice luck is trash, is what I'm getting at. Like I can never roll what I want to roll when I need to roll it. And then on other shit, like what was it the other day? Because I had to miss a session, so my DM and I did like a one shot over the phone. I was doing an investigation check, like just perception, just looking around. I rolled a nat 20 on it, easy. But then when I went to go to do an attack roll, literally like 2 seconds later, I rolled a natural 1. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Fucking D&D out to screw me over.
Gigantic oof.
I know, very big oof. So what ended up happening, luckily the DM was nice, but had he not been nice, that natural 1 would have killed me. That natural 1 would have straight up murked my my warlock. Yeah, but luckily he said, hey, what's your hit point total? I'm like, it's like 26 right now. He's like, okay, cool. Luckily, he hit you so fucking hard, because he also nat 20'd on me is what happened.
Oh, God.
I got a natural 1 against a nat 20. And so he basically said, okay, he hits you so fucking hard, he doesn't kill you, he just knocks you out. I'm like, okay, thank Christ. Because as a Dragonborn, that's really fucking awkward.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cool thing is though, I tried to I didn't try to fight him at first. I tried to intimidate him and say, hey, back off, let me walk away. And he said, unfortunately, I'm the captain of the guard, I can't let you just walk away. So I was like, okay, then fuck it, we're doing this. I tried to intimidate him again using Eldritch Blast and just blasted one of his soldiers away. But luckily, because I'm so intimidating as a Dragonborn, he was like, okay, you know what? You might not be the best in combat, but they respect the fuck out of you for actually scaring the shit out of their captain. I was like, okay, cool, I'll take that. I'll take that.
That works.
Yeah. So this past session, because the other thing is too, I'll make like little snide comments. We have a gnome barbarian in the party. There we go. Song Constitution just. Turkey seizes control over the Bosporus. I'm assuming the farcical circus matters little to us.
I mean, either way, you're gonna get an option to back down if you want, and the compromise is usually the best one. What's your other choice?
Mobilize the armed forces immediately. I feel like that's overkill.
No, do it. It'll be fun.
Do them. Okay, fuck it. We're mobilizing. And then, all right. So, Solid Constitution is taken care of. Should I finish the 5-year plan?
In your case, I recommend doing the Great Purge next.
Okay, Great Purge. Okay, then after that, finish 5-year plan.
The sooner you get that done, the better.
Agreed. Much agreed. All right, modified gut. Holy shit! I got a lot of political power. I'm gonna swap over to war economy real quick. So, swap to war economy, yeah?
Yes.
Got it.
And you should have another event pop up with Turkey.
Turkey remilitarizes the Turkish Straits. Got it. Or Zinoviev, whatever. Well, that crisis can be considered concluded. Turkey compromises on the military. Nice. Love it.
So they backed down, basically.
Yeah.
They said, okay, look, we won't fully remilitarize, but we want to be able to move trade convoys and protect them.
Yep. Sounds about right. All right, cool. Got that. Let's check on research. Yeah, we're good. We're doing good so far.
Yeah, there's some really strange events where you end up with the Soviet Union and Turkey at war in, like, the first 70 days.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen on historical, but when you do ahistorical, all bets are off.
Very fair. Very fair. Oh, by the way,
you see some wild things happen.
I bet. No, I mean, you've told me about some shit that happens. And it all sounds hilarious. And by the way, a divorce says nat 1 and 20. I remember my Mandrill Druid. I used a spell, rolled a nat 20, and with everything added up, it was over 30. So the rest of the group didn't see me following them for an hour. So
as you do.
Yeah, nat 20 on deception. But I mean, on top of that, Ginger and I, we really got into this group called Dimension 20. Don't know if you ever heard of them. They're on Dropout. But they have this really great campaign called A Crown of Candy where everything is based on food.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, it's hilarious. They literally have a barbarian king that's made of candy, and his whenever he rages, he basically pours cola all over his pop rock body, so it causes this giant spark of fire around him. It's kind of cool.
I buy it.
Yeah, it gives me so many really cool ideas, because I've also got a Jedi Paladin build that I kind of want to fuck with, too.
I'm playing a Paladin in my campaign right now.
Paladins are fun, dude. They hit like a fucking truck when you roll properly.
I am a Conquest Paladin.
Uh-oh. How's that work?
So, literally, this guy is just for glory, and that's his sole guiding purpose. I don't know if you ever played the Age of Empire games.
I never did, no. I heard they were good, though.
They are excellent, and I highly, highly recommend them at some point. But the best one the one I'm referring to is Age of Empires 2. And if you do the French campaign for that, you do the Joan of Arc campaign, and you get a assistant that works with you that is a special soldier that you get at some point, or for some of the missions, called who is a guy named Lahir, who's based on a real person. Lahir was a real person who served under Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was one of her best military commanders. But the Lahir that they have for Age of Empires is completely different than the real one. But my character is based on the Age of Empires one, who's just this absolute madman.
That's awesome!
Whose sole purpose is to bring glory to France.
Okay. Giving France their balls back. All right, I like it. I'm surprised you know what's really funny now that you mentioned that? I'm surprised that you don't have... Okay, cool, got those knocked out. I'll go and start up construction. Get that squared up. Yeah, boom, and boom. Let's see. Oh, trial of anti-Soviet Trotskyist center. Oh, let's see. It was Kalinin's wife is suspected. Khrushchev dabbled with Trotskyism. Radek's confession, and party members can be trusted.
Okay, so hover over them and tell me what the effects are for them.
Let's see. Remove Kalinin as a political advisor.
What the political advisor is he?
Let's see. Popular figurehead.
Keep him. Go on to the next one.
Let's see. Remove Nikita Khrushchev, which is a communist revolutionary daily communism support.
That's the one you want to take. You don't need him. You're already communist.
Got it. Done deal. Alright, cool. Construction. Alright, we're building up shit. We're building stuff. We are doing things.
And if you notice, I'm working towards communism too.
Yes, I had noticed that. Also, I am in a... I'm in a surplus right now on guns. So I'm doing really well on artillery, guns, everything's in green, basically.
Good. Then you can start training divisions if your deficit's done.
Hell yeah. Alright, location set. I'm gonna stick you... Who are we attacking first, by the way? Who are we taking out first?
In terms of attacking, there's really not a whole lot of choices that we're gonna have to worry about. You're mostly a defensive focused until you're gonna have to go after Germany at some point. But for right now, you need to make sure to keep some divisions on the border with Japan, because they are going to try you at some point with a border war, and you want to be ready for that.
Oh yeah, no, I remember them sneaking up behind me. I'm gonna stick them over in that section, actually. I put them in North Sakhalin, where they fucked me last time. I told
just keep divisions on that border is all you really have to worry about.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, because I told Ginger about how my beautiful red nation was covered in Japanese cum, and I was very upset about it. So I was very, very upset. Little fucking bastard sneaking up behind me like that. So, but then again, it also proves, you know, gotta make sure I'm proficient in this game. Also, should I start worrying about adding commanders to my groups? Or
not until your purge is done.
I didn't think so. Right. Modify government. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Should I add Kalinin as a popular figurehead?
You can. You can just hold on to your political power for now. Wait until your purge is done, and then you can start doing modifications.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. Okay, cool. I'll do that then. But yeah, so the cool thing I like about Dimension 20 that we were watching right now, they have this really awesome campaign also set in New York City, based on like the realm of dreaming and the reality. And so the final battle that they had for their first session, because they have like a chapter 2 that they're doing right now. Their first session was literally their final boss was the concept of the American dream, like an embodiment of what the American dream is, in accordance to how this one villain perceives it, which was fucking cool. It was super, super cool.
Sounds like it.
Oh yeah, and they had a druid character named Cugrash, who was like this rat with a rusty pipe who could summon like roaches and like bats and shit, and it was really cool. It gave the party stat buffs. So he ended up like getting his ass fucking wrecked, and so he said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to eat the bagel of everything, or the bagel of all knowledge. And so he became like a part of the fabric of reality and just fucked this guy's day. It was hilarious. So it's if you get a chance to, it's on YouTube. Like all their campaigns are on YouTube so far, and they're really, really good. And it's actually,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's helped me get a lot of confidence in like my D&D stuff, because now I know like what I can and can't do and what I can like play around with. So it just got me used to like the lingo and such.
We decided to do a module campaign, which is one that Wizards of the Coast has already written for like how the scenario goes and everything, and it's just a matter of you going through it.
Oh, so they give you like the rules and stuff like that, like, hey, this is
Yeah.
how this works, this is how that works. So it takes out a lot of the story stuff. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and this one is Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh, Secret Trial of the Generals. Turkashevsky, let's see. Remove Turkashevsky, which is a mass assault doctrine. Rokossovsky, remove as chief of army. Or false documents. Will lead to a civil war in the future.
You don't want false documents.
Yeah, that will lead to civil war. Never mind.
Is there an option that would remove the guy that gives you, or that is an armor genius? One sec.
Let me look. Army drill, armor reformer, decisive battle. Remove from military high command Konstantin Rokossovsky, which is Rokossovsky is armor genius. Yeah.
Just perfectly out. So, I usually like whatever, so it should be perfect. Yeah, I'm back.
Hi, person in the background.
That was BJ.
Oh, it was BJ? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Rokossovsky was, yeah, I was about to say, please pause that. Holy shit! Yeah, so Rokossovsky was the armor genius. Let's see, Turkashevsky, there is no army genius in that one, so take the Rokossovsky.
Okay, well, hang on. Since we're paused, go to what your possible options are for your military high command. There should be 2 of the armor geniuses, if I remember correctly. One of them requires you to take a specific national focus, though.
Well, let's see.
That's the focus you're going to take anyways. It's the positive heroism one. You want to keep Gregory Zukov and Konstantin Rokossovsky.
Okay, keep Konstantin Rokossovsky. Okay, keep him. Yeah. And then, what was the other one you said?
Oh, Gregory Zukov is your other guy. He's your mass assault doctrine guy, but
okay. So
you probably won't purge him.
So let's go.
If you have to keep Rokossovsky, you have to get rid of the other guy then.
Okay, keep Rokossovsky, but get rid of Tukashevsky. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
And done. There we go. Got it.
Cool.
Yep, and I still have a shit ton of political power, so I'll wait till everything is done. I won't worry about the research and production stuff yet, then. I'll hold off on that. Should I add an industrial concern? I'm thinking...
With your research, if you do the industry one instead of the electronics one, it will help with your research for industry.
That's what I figured.
So it's not a bad investment.
Yeah, I went ahead and just chose that then. Stalingrad Tractor Factory. I went ahead and chose that one.
Okay, yeah.
I figured might as well give it a bolster. Nationalist Spain has declared war on Spain.
Oh, okay. So this is an important thing that you're going to have to do for.
Okay.
You're going to send volunteers to Spain as well as some Lend-Lease. You need to send the volunteers first.
Let's see, where... Okay, Intel... No, not Intel Ledger.
So, do diplomacy with them.
Yeah, diplomacy. Do I just click on them? Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And then
click on them.
What was it?
And then the flag. What?
Improve relations offer. No, hold on. Where is it?
Just no. Further down, there's an option to send volunteers.
Yeah, send volunteers. Got it.
So do that, and it'll tell you how many divisions you can send. I think you can send 5.
Total limit is 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to pick 6 divisions that you're going to send to work as volunteers in Spain. They're not going to help you win the war. Spain is almost guaranteed to lose it. It takes an incredible amount of skill and luck to be able to get this to work in your favor.
Okay, that's fine.
But what you get out of it is army experience because you sent divisions. And as long as they're continuously fighting on the front lines, they will gain experience.
You have selected more divisions than you're allowed to send. Deselect some... Wait,
you need to put whatever type
I need to split it off. Okay, I see what I did wrong.
Put 6 of them into a separate army and then send just that. Also, you can send air volunteers too, and you definitely should. There's a little button up at the top that says, yes, please send air volunteers.
Okay. Hey, okay, I'll just do this then. That seems simplest. So, boink. Boink. Okay, yeah, I'll just do that then. Shit. There we go. Alright, and 6. Okay, and you said send air volunteers, correct?
Yep.
Alright, let me just get that.
So before you click your final thing for submitting for send volunteers, there's a checkbox that you can hit that is air volunteers as well, and then you can send a contingent of planes.
Oh, cool. Okay. So,
which is good for air experience.
Send 6 divisions, and then, yeah, send air volunteers. Done. All right.
Cool. Now that that's done, before we unpause, do start Lend-Lease.
Okay. And then from start Lend-Lease, what do I do? I just click on planes, you said?
Nope. Click guns.
Guns.
How many guns do you have in storage that you're not using at the moment?
Right now it says 0. Hold on.
Okay, that's all right.
Let me look at that. Make sure I'm reading it right. So it says right now I have a deficit of 23.47 thousand, but I mean I have a surplus of 53.6. So
wait. No, that's how many you produce per day.
Right.
And that is how many you produce per day compared to what you need. So if you have a deficit of guns, you're not going to be able to send them any guns.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to work on this a little bit differently instead. So what you're going to do is when you do a Lend-Lease of guns, you're going to send them 5%, and then you're going to send them 1 artillery per month. It's a little bit of an extra trickle of
you said 5%, correct?
Do 5% of just regular infantry equipment, and then 1 artillery.
Then 1 artillery a month.
Yep.
Okay.
So what this will do is it'll send a small trickle of guns, and you can always modify that later on if you need to.
Right.
Most of your guns are probably going to go to China, though, for being honest.
That's fair.
But what this will do is it will give you a trickle of army experience that you can use to start improving your divisions to get to that 7-2 we were talking about.
Okay. Let's see. Now to make disband army before surrender. To make sure. Okay, so I hit start Lend-Lease. How do I know if it was accepted or not?
When we unpause, it'll say it is.
Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Spain will allow a volunteer force from our country to fight in their wars. Cool. And then
your troops are on the way to join the struggle.
Sweet. And then volunteer forces and transfer decisions available. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Let's go try that again. I don't think that went through. 1 per month. And 5%. All right. They will accept. Nothing popped up. I guess it just hasn't procced yet.
Or, Lend-Lease?
Yeah.
No, it should have gone at the same time.
Okay. All right.
let's check the diplomacy tab that you have with them.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it. It did?
Huh? No, it hasn't gone through yet.
Huh. Spain is. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Soviet Union supporting Spain through Lend-Lease. There we are.
Cool. There we go.
And when your volunteers get there, then they'll show up as well.
Dope. All right. Dope. Yeah, there we go. Spain. Yeah, supported Lend-Lease. Got it. Sweet. All right, and we are 3/4 of the way done with the Great Purge.
Yep.
Six divisions have arrived in Valencia. Okay.
Okay. So this is where you need to have them join the front with Spain.
Okay.
And just get ready to slog through. If they're in Valencia, usually the place I try to put them is just north of Madrid in that kind of hilly mountain area. And I give them a battle order to go to Valladolid or to Burgos.
Because I can order them from here, right?
Yeah, you control these divisions.
Okay, cool. All right, so...
Like, you have total control over them.
All right, and you
but
say
your goal is to get them as much experience as possible, which you can then use to.
Okay, and then you said, let's see, did you say spearhead or offensive?
Just an offensive line.
All right, and
that's usually what I do.
Just up to Burgos?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Dope. Cool. We ride it down, boys. Through the Spanish hills.
Go ahead and do stuff with the air while you're there.
Stuff with the air? Oh.
Yeah, since you can send air volunteers. So if you click on one of your areas where you have planes.
Oh, and then
tell you how many you can afford to send to Spain if you go over to that side of the map.
Oh.
You need to make sure that you're sending up to that amount.
Okay. So.
And while you're working on that, I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Alright, if I can remember, I will give you an example when we do Mega Man. Oh, please do. Speaking of rules or other things, it's always good to talk with the DM and the rest of the group so y'all don't cross certain lines. Oh, of course, yeah. We stay, obviously we stay in actual contact. Make sure that everything's on the up and up. Let's see. Make sure everything's Gucci. Everything should be good to go. Yes, indeed. I'll be right back.
I'll be back. I have returned. Hello? Hello, are you still there?
Hey, sorry about Ethan. You were saying something?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure you were still there before I unpaused.
Oh no, you're good. Sorry, I had to use the restroom too. I was like, fuck it, I might as well take this moment. So go for it. Yeah.
Intermission.
All right, game start. Hey, by the way, so you know about Pyrrha and Mithra in Smash, right? From Xenoblade. So
yeah, I remember that being a thing.
They dropped last night, and I wasn't really enthused when they were first announced. They look kind of cheesy. They're actually really fun to play as. I was pleasantly surprised. They are very fun to play as, especially since it's whenever you swap between the two of them when you press down B, it's super quick. Like you don't have to wait for it like with Sheik and Zelda. It's just instant. So
yeah.
And you, obviously you get a frame of invincibility with it, so it's really fun to like phase through attacks and piss people off. They're like, "What the fuck? I hit you with that thing." It's like, "No, you didn't. You tried to hit Pyrrha, but Pyrrha ain't there. Pyrrha doesn't exist. It's Mithra now, bitch."
That's such shit.
Oh, I know. But the other cool thing is that Pyrrha is based on damage, Mithra is based on damage, whereas Pyrrha is based on like KOs. So the cool thing is you can literally combo it, and I was fucking around with it last night. You can combo it so that Mithra like does a lot of damage to him, and then you quickly swap to Pyrrha and then finish him off with a smash attack.
All right.
Yeah, you can do some fuck shit with him, and I'm actually kind of here for it.
I mean, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Until they put my character in, though.
Who's your character again?
Our boy. You know who he is.
I know. I just wanted to hear you say it.
It's a cold and it's a broken Waluigi.
Trial of the 21. All right. Navy and Air Force have been getting off easy so far. As we suspected, enemies are everywhere. This has gone... Oh, nope. Definitely not. Let's see here. Remove Chief of Navy, which grants Naval Reformer. Remove Chief of Air Force, Konstantin Vershinin. Remove his military high command, Sergei Kodyakov. Whereas the Navy and Air Force have been getting off easy so far. We could do get rid of Nikolai Yezhov, Yakov Shmushkevich, or Gorday Levchenko.
I mean,
as I butcher those fucking names.
Both of those options hurt, but neither one of them are particularly detrimental. You're gonna have good options whichever path you go down.
Right.
I think I usually do the Army or the Navy and Air Force have been getting off easy so far. I think that's one I usually click.
Yeah, that's one that I went with too. So because I mean the as we suspected there are enemies everywhere thing, again it feels like overkill.
Oh yeah, no, that's horrible. You don't want that.
Yeah, no, I was like that one feels like overkill. And then the other option was just this leads to Civil War down the line. I'm like, that's obviously a no. That's never a yes. And we are almost done with the Great Purge. We have let's see, 186 out of 210 days left.
Yeah, so, you're gonna be done when I finish my focus too.
Dope.
Because we're synced up right now.
Trotskyite plot? The fuck?
Yeah, the Trotskyites were the followers of Leon Trotsky after he got exiled from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And Stalin was constantly afraid, because Trotsky was very popular, that they would return or try to give him or return him to power, and that he would lose control of the nation.
Right.
And that's part of what the Great Purge was about, was to remove those who were loyal to Trotsky, so it became only those who were loyal to Stalin.
Gotcha.
But you can't ever be sure that you got all them pesky Trotskyites.
Very true. Very true. Let's see. There we go. Dispersed industry is now done.
Good.
Yep, and so is construction. All right, now let's go ahead. Land doctrine. Still working on that. Missing equipment production. I can fix that in a second. No problem. What did we agree on for air doctrine? Did we talk about that? I was thinking battlefield
No, we never
support.
got a chance to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, battlefield support, if you're going to be doing with close air support, is your best option. If you're going to be using strategic bombers, obviously strategic destruction.
Right.
And then operational integrity is supposed to be the halfway point and do tactical bombers, but I find that they are just actually the worst of it.
Yeah,
so
I
I
was
tend to do
say.
either battlefield support or strat destruction. And in your case, if you're doing close air support, battlefield support's the way to go.
Right. What's out of production? What the fuck are we talking about here? Missing equipment production. What are you talking about? All right, great purchase done.
Yep.
All right, starting on the 5-year plan.
Go for it.
Missing equipment production? What are you talking about? There's nothing missing here. Oh, wait. Maybe this? No, that's not it. I'm not seeing anything missing.
If you hover over it, what does it say?
Let's see. Tactical bomber.
Oh, because you sent them to Spain.
Oh, yeah.
And you've lost a plane. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm just sitting there like, what? It's kind of funny. Ginger's watching Aladdin the King of Thieves in the background. Oh no, you're fine, baby. I was just talking about it. And what's his name? Kasim? Yeah, no, not Aladdin's dad. The bald dude, bald fucker.
I know what you're talking about. I think.
Yeah, that dude. He just said, I'm the king of generosity. I'm just like, I was scrolling over Spain when he said that. I was like, you know, I mean, I am a little bit, but. Tell you what, you guys, I'm gonna have you do pilot exercises. Yeah, there we go. Those as well. All right, cool. Might as well have you guys leveling up while we're at it. Never hurts. Cool. Yeah, pilot exercises, and pilot exercises. All right, cool. Dope. Dope. Good shit. Modified government. Ooh, here we go.
Now's a good time to add your popular figurehead.
That's literally what I was looking for. There we go. Get that stability boost, yo. All right. Let's see. Then we have the Democratic Reformer, Captain of Industry, and Smooth Talking Charmer. I'm assuming Smooth Talking Charmer and Captain of Industry is next, correct?
Captain of Industry is good. Smooth Talking Charmer is not worth it.
Not worth it. Okay.
Elusive Gentleman is going to be with your last one.
Gotcha. Oh, I need to create an intelligence agency. That's what I need to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Agency being formed. All right. Knock it out. Yeah, I just called it the NKVD, The Boys. So.
That works.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't seen it, The Boys is a pretty solid show.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Officers Purge, Land Doctrine Research Speed, Naval Doctrine Research Speed, and Air Doctrine Research Speed, minus 10. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So, you have a choice now. And this is entirely up to you.
Right.
You can either cheese that away if you want, and I can tell you how, or you can play what a real historical game would be like and just suffer through that. Because it'll go down over time.
Yeah, because I mean, the way we got rid of it last time was NKVD primacy and then NKVD divisions.
Well, that's how you get there. The focus you need to take is Lessons of War, but if you look at the requirements for that, Lessons of War requires you to have been in a war.
Right.
And since you're communist, you can justify a war goal for basically anyone that you want, and could just absolutely bully Estonia if you really wanted.
let's see. Where's Estonia? Right. Oh, right here. I could do that, couldn't I?
That's the cheesing way to do it, and it's definitely a possibility if you want.
It couldn't hurt.
If you would rather do what the real historical version is and just wait out the Great Purge until it's over and done with, and then do Lessons of War from there, that's up to you as well. It's either way.
I mean,
depending on if you're in what multiplayer lobby you're in, if you're ever doing this with people who are just total randoms, some people have rules about whether or not you can be an aggressive Soviet Union like that or not.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I was about to say, in terms of fun, I kind of want to just get rid of it as fast as I can.
Yeah, then do it.
Yeah, couldn't
Absolutely
hurt.
Do it.
And so, to do that, I just go to Diplomacy, click Estonia, and I just hit Justify War Goal, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna...
You'll have to pick the...
Go ahead.
You'll have to pick the states that you're going to justify for, and it's under the Conquer one every time.
Okay, I've got until 1941
we'll tell you how much time it'll take, how much world tension it'll generate, and how much political power it costs.
Right. Okay, gotcha. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so just for no war goal selected, Conquer. That's the only war goal.
Yep.
I mean, because I could probably beat the shit out of them too if I tried, couldn't I?
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Now let's see. Before I do that, though, okay, an electronic. Can you pause that real quick?
Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate you. All right. So to do that, I just finished the five-year plan, and now should I choose armament effort or NKVD primacy? I can't remember which one was better.
In your case, you need to do NKVD primacy and NKVD divisions so that we can be ready for Lessons of War if you're going to go down the Estonia path.
Okay, so we'll go with.
If you're dead set on that, you need to make sure that you're working your way there. Then.
Right. Okay. Got it. Started that one. Let's see. Let's go with mechanical computing. Get that knocked out.
So, if you're going to be bullying Estonia, then you should probably put some divisions on their border.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to start doing. All right, so because we got the cryptology department working right now, where the fuck did my army go? Oh, duh, I've got the wrong theater. Let's see. Infantry, I could choose that. Let's go ahead. So what I'm gonna do then? I don't need to really sink that many troops onto this shit, right? I mean, if I just want to, I want to steamroll them, I don't need that much, do I?
I would do 2 armies worth.
2 armies worth?
Do 48 divisions. It's more than enough for you to just outright beat
Oh,
them.
well, I mean, I've got one army that's just 73 divisions, so...
Yeah, okay, so we should probably go ahead and split that up then.
Yeah.
Because a commander can't control more than 24 divisions.
Yeah, and I'm going to split it up, no problem. I'm going to start working on that right now. Doing strategist, cautious, army officer, harsh leader, armor, political connected. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I'll choose you then. Got you knocked out for that. Create a new group. Let's see. Okay, this guy. Put you 2 together that way. Yeah, that way you do the same color. There's no confusion there. Boink. And let's go ahead and go with boink. Gotcha. Alright, but again, y'all fuckers can't handle your troops. Hold up. Don't do anything. Make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, cool. God damn. So many. There are so many. There we go. Cool. Fucking hell. Alright,
Yeah.
so, let's see.
Too much of a good
4,
thing,
5,
right?
6. Yeah, too much of a good thing, I agree. Hey, how do I select more than one at a time? Is that something I can do?
You mean select more than one division at a time?
Yeah.
I mean, you can double-click them to select all of a type if you want. Otherwise, you can hold Shift-click and just keep clicking on them to keep grabbing as many as you need.
That's what I was thinking. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam.
Я готов. Слушаю.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, cool. And boink. And
Внимание!
yeah, there we go. Bam. All right, cool. So, all you motherfuckers, put you as our military dudes.
Готов выдвигаться.
Front line on.
Так точно.
Yeah. Boom, move you over here. All right, cool. And so, while I'm waiting on that, should I go ahead and just justify a war goal against Estonia? Just for shiggles? All right, cool. Yeah, and by the way, thank you for being so patient with me, by the way, because I know this is, like, taking forever.
It's no trouble. And again, I want you to be proficient at the game, and that's what this takes.
Fair enough, fair enough. What the hell? What are you doing? What? Why are you changing views like that? Shit.
I don't know. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. Estonia, there we go. Duh. Alright. Just my war goal. No war goal selected. Should I Tartu or Harju? Or just do both? Can I do both?
Just do one. I do Tartu.
Tartu? That's what I thought. Bam.
Cool.
I will fuck you up!
Yep.
I will come and kick your ass! Lat tears! Whoa! Alright, so we'll have you do a spearhead towards Tallinn. And we'll have you just do a basic offensive line towards there. That way, we can do some cleanup. And y'all motherfuckers. Nope. Definitely not that. Air superiority. Closer support. And yeah, we should be good. What we got here? We got night fighters, tactical bombers, and fighter. Yeah, fuck it. No, not interception. Do strategic bombing. Let's see, air recon. Nope. Alright, cool. No retreat, and missions are executed day and night. Got it. Cool. On my signal, unleash hell! Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and get this knocked out. Air doctrine. We're already working on that. Land doctrine. Gucci. It's still 1937. Department's been formed. Excellent. Got good shit going. Let's see. Should I? Hey, should I worry about doing radio as well? At the same time as
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Cool.
Yeah, you will need a radio at some point.
Got it. All right, cool. Boink. So we honestly should be okay. That's that. That's this. Yeah, we should be all right. Click that. Click that. All right, I'm gonna have you come and do a front line as well. Following along with these guys and bolstering them. We're gonna have you go right over here. Cool. All right. We should be good. Let's go and keep you going.
Yeah, no worries.
Sweet.
And we're sitting down. I said that.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, baby. Okay, so this is going a bit smoother than last time.
Верно.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Так точно.
are sitting pretty. We are sitting pretty. Liking this. Enclave 80 privacy is almost done. Go, my pretties. Go. Destroy.
Okay, dial it back there, stud.
That's fair.
До приказа.
Alright, so...
Внимание! Готов!
Okay, well, if you do area defense for right now. Talented new officers. Alright. Sweet.
Yeah, that reduces your effect from the purge each time you get one of those.
Nice.
And it's set to fire every so many months until the purge is just gone.
Okay, gotcha.
So, not that it matters too terribly much. It's going to look like I'm joining the Allies at some points.
Uh-huh.
And it's because I'm joining the Allies. I have every intention of leaving them as soon as it's done.
That's fair. Joseph Stalin angered by Estonian posturing. Regardless,
Yep.
we must ready the people for war. Let's go.
Мирно!
Reserves. Sweet. Free military factories. Excellent. I like that. Regional Defense Council of Aragon declared war on Spain.
Yep.
Anarchist uprising. All right, let's go.
Yeah, Republican Spain hardly needed a reason to lose.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, yikes. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, so Spain now always devolves into a three-way civil war at some points,
Mm-hmm.
and has the potential to devolve into a four-way civil war.
Damn. Let's see, we got fighters and tactical bombers. There's our support, air superiority. Yep. And then let's go ahead and get some strategic bombing in there. Got it.
And doing the anarchist path for Spain is actually a ton of fun to play through.
Oh, I bet.
If you can win that war, it's amazing. Because one of the things that you get if you go down their tree far enough is hang on, let me find the anarchist side of it, because that was the communist side. Okay, so where is it? Damn it. Okay, so at the very bottom of their tree is a thing called the Global Defense Council,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do
Joseph Stalin brings
Focus-
revolution to Estonia.
you can do decisions if you get high enough compliance in territories, the
Hmm.
opposite of resistance.
Gotcha.
If
Oh, by the way,
compliance becomes high enough, you can just core territory, which makes it a part of you naturally.
okay, cool. By the way, Spain relocates gold reserves.
So if you get the opportunity to seize them, you should.
Oh, hell yeah, we'll do. Let's see. Nice. Action. Always good. Alright, cool. Alright, modify government. Let's see, you said Captain of Industry, right?
The industry is good. So is War Industrialist, if you have that as an option.
Nice. And Incubate divisions. Done. Let's keep her going. Military reorganization. Let's see, hold on. One of the following must be true after has had a war. Okay, so I gotta wait until that war is finished. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, so you have to wait until that's done. So for now, you can go and start doing armament efforts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Armament effort, and then maybe improved rail line.
Where do you see that?
Let's see. What was it? Improve railway
improve
network.
railway network?
Yeah.
No. What you want to do after that is do positive heroism.
Positive heroism. Okay, gotcha. Can do.
The reason why is you don't accidentally get locked into collectivist propaganda, because that extra research slot looks tempting there, but you want the one that's under socialist science.
Really? Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Trust me when I say this, socialist science is without a doubt the most powerful thing you can take.
Hindenburg incident. Close.
Yep, so it didn't blow up.
Whee!
Which means that if Germany had gone through a civil war and done the return of the Kaiser, and they joined the Allies, it's possible for them to get Kaiserin Victoria III as the leader of Germany, and she can reform the Holy Roman Empire.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's freaking sick. Okay, cool. Now I can upgrade my infrastructure again. Nice. All right, so once those proc, which they should in a few days now, I'll go and start on construction. Because I've still got a shit ton of fucking factories to build.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's see. I will go ahead. East Indies. Let's go ahead and give you an extra one. Dope. So, in terms of like where I need to be versus where I am right now, how much improvement do you think I need to make? Just real talk.
Hard to say, honestly. This is one of those games that you just kind of have to keep playing at until you get better at it.
Okay.
It's like zombies.
Okay, so it's just practice. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's
I'll take that.
entirely based on practice.
Yeah.
And granted, you can shorten that learning curve by watching other people play this too, and that will help immensely.
Yeah, just like I was doing with Dimension 20. Yeah, no, same div. Because I was meaning to actually watch those videos you told me about too. So
yeah,
because I know that.
I recommend are. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say because I know that watching Dimension 20, I'm like, okay, this is where you go. That's how that's what this means, and yada yada yada. It's getting used to the jargon and getting used to the menus.
That's brutal.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I finally got a thing I've been waiting on, which is factory strikes.
Oh no.
If you don't do something to help with your inefficient economy, and do the Montanian Agreement, eventually you end up with factory strikes, which does the following. It's a 10% stability hit, a 10% war support hit, and a factory output and dockyard output hit of 90% each. Which means that currently my factory output is minus 89%.
Damn. Holy shit.
Yeah. It rough, yo.
Hey, by the way, quick question. So, make sure that I'm doing this properly on this war over here with Estonia. Am I actually making progress? Because it doesn't look like I am.
It's going to go until it says that it's ready.
Okay.
It goes until the 18th of August is when it takes, or is when you can declare. Once you do that, just make sure that you declare, march all the way through and conquer them, annex them, and then you can do Lessons of War.
Okay, gotcha.
I have a silent workhorse available. I do. Good. Very good.
Так точно. Так точно.
Amelia Earhart circumnavigates the globe.
Oh, that's an interesting one. That
Yeah.
usually doesn't happen.
Spanish gold reserves. We will receive the reserves as payment.
Yep.
Fuck
Good.
yeah.
So they last long enough. Because if Republican Spain doesn't last long enough to be able to get down to that part of their tree, then it's just all for naught.
Right. Yunnan join. Okay, here we go. German-Soviet treaty. Capitalists are a worse threat to us both. We won't give fascists the weapons to crush the proletariat.
Oh, no, you want to take the treaty. It's good.
Take the treaty?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Got it.
'Cause what
Japan
that
declared
does is
war on
we-
China.
Yeah,
oh,
that happens.
shit. What the heck does
Oh,
that mean?
it was always coming.
Okay. Right. Let's see. Insufficient intel to provide unit details. Oh, duh. I was looking. Okay, the way that there was like a division thing sitting at the top of my screen, I was like, the fuck is that? Doesn't look like it needs to be there. Then I scrolled up, I was like, oh, it's a division for fucking Finland. I was so confused.
So, now's a good time to send Wind Lease to China as well, if you can.
Yeah, that's actually, I was thinking about that as well. All right, cool. So, diplomacy, let's look at, fuck, intel ledger? No. There we go, country list. That's what I was looking for. China. Let's see, and for them, I mean, I've got guns out the ass. I mean, I've still got
So
like,
send them
I
quite
still
a
have a
few.
deficit about 3,000, but, so maybe like a 5% again?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, start lease.
And the one artillery.
And there we go. And sent.
Cool.
Sweet, there we go.
Because we want to hold Japan back for as long as possible.
Oh, agreed. Much agreed. They support the fascists by inaction then. Wow.
Yep, I get the
Damn.
same thing.
Let's see. What can I do? Let's see. Cautious. Politically connected. Career officer. The war escalates. Holy shit. Holy
Oh, it's
God.
because all the factions finally getting involved.
Right. Let's go ahead. No, not reckless. I don't want
Yeah,
reckless.
China forms the first real faction of the game. It's the Chinese United Fronts.
Interesting times indeed.
Так точно.
Talented new officers. Excellent.
Good. And I should have just enough time to finish this before my conscription becomes a problem.
Cool. Cool. See, now I feel like I'm actually being productive now instead of just sitting around waiting for stuff.
Yeah, you have the option to be proactive now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so I've still got plenty of time to sponge that. So cool, cool, cool. Got it, got it. All right, we are doing well. We are doing well.
Good.
Yes. We must rally behind the cause. Questions Estonian sovereignty. All right. Here, can you pause real quick? Just one sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, one sec. I'll be right back. You know, there are some trade-offs to being hydrated all the time.
Hey, it happens.
Yep. It's not a bad thing. Let's see. Consumer goods factories. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I like what I see. All right, just in case we're conquering Tartu for Soviet Union is finished. Shall we declare war?
Yeah, if you're ready, go for it.
Go for it. All right. All right, boys. Join wars request. Nah, I won't worry about you. Alright, cool. Squared up. Not enough manpower equipment to fulfill our garrisons. Uh-oh.
Oh, it just means that you're running a deficit on equipment, usually.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
alright,
I can put more towards that, and that's not a problem. Construction. We still have plenty of shit to do. Alright, cool, cool. Levels of infrastructure repeated. Okay, let's take a look at that. Yeah, we can probably do some more. It's maxed out. It's maxed out. Eh. Let's go with that. Close that out there. Ooh. Yes, I'll take that. Thank you. Thank you kindly.
I had a debate whether or not I actually wanted to go to early mobilization. I decided I did.
I gotcha.
Thing is, I hate early mobilization,
I'm so sorry.
but it's what I have available. So civilian economy, I've already explained to you, is 35% consumer goods and a penalty to building military and civilian factories.
Mm-hmm.
Early mobilization is 30% consumer goods and a smaller penalty to military and civilian construction.
Gotcha.
But it is what it is. And in my case, that was good for another 2 factories that I can use, and the ability to build my civilian economy that much faster. Oh, I forgot. Since I flipped, I need to do that.
Actually, it wouldn't hurt to take that force. How many did I fit over here? Oh, we're fine. I'll just send these guys over here just for protection purposes, because I don't fucking trust Japan. After fucking last time, dude, I don't trust Japan.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. That was some ass, dude. I was so frustrated. All right, 37. All right, let's take a look. We can do engineering. Nah, we're good. We're good. 37, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that I had territory. That was like, oh yeah, I forgot that I changed to communist, and I lost my occupation policy.
Oh no.
Yeah, so democracies get a occupation policy that's really powerful called local autonomy, which means that they have absolutely no divisions there, and you just gain compliance instead, which is awesome.
Right.
But the other thing about local autonomy is it means that because you're a democracy, you can't form collaboration governments.
Right.
But when you switch to being communist, that's no longer an option. So instead, you have to remember to go back and change your occupation law, and I forgot.
Oh no. That's not good.
So I've got like 24% resistance in a ton of territories.
I bet you do. Jesus.
Готов.
Because the default that it changes to is just no occupation. But that's alright.
Yeah, it's all good. There we go.
Внимание.
Cool. Ooh, that's awkward. That might be a wee bit awkward. No, we're good. We're good.
So
Yeah,
if
no,
I do this right, you're going to end up with potentially Czechoslovakia and Romania in our faction.
Ooh, okay. I'm down with that. Oh,
Again,
by the way, I don't know if I'm
right.
There we go. I'm finally in a surplus, so I can start storing shit. I don't think I've told you enough. I really appreciate you showing me this game. By the way,
I'm
really
glad that you
enjoyed it.
enjoy it.
Yeah. It tickles the brain.
I think so. And in my case, it's just the right amount of complex strategy while at the same time still being somewhat relaxing.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. And yeah, no, it's very cathartic. I agree. Very cathartic.
Especially if you have the fully expanded soundtrack going for it.
Oh, yeah. That soundtrack freaking bops, dude. It slaps.
It's...
Alright, see how you guys are doing over here. Yeah, we should be alright.
And I can finally get rid of my agreements. And I don't have strikes anymore, so yay for that.
We.
Granted, my stability is atrocious. It's 45%. But that will improve over time.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, now it's 35%.
Sweet. Alright, officers per. Okay, that's almost gone. That's almost gone. Yeah, Lessons of War is almost done.
How
And so
much
you
army
said-
experience have you accumulated from Spain?
Say again?
How much army experience do you have now?
Let's see. Army experience. I have 83 currently.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is this over here?
You want to know how much I had?
How much?
175.
God damn. Nice. They're upsetting the already fragile. Do votes really change anything? Jesus.
Two events there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so after Lessons of War, did you say Research City Experiment or go with Progress Cult?
Oh, no, you should definitely do Research City Experiment and finish that tree out.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Because it's worth it for an entire research slot for you.
Oh,
Your
hell
goal
yeah.
now is to get to your 5 research slots. Closed City Network is good for 1, and then the extra research slot underneath Socialist Science is your second one.
Gotcha.
And Spain's about done for.
Yikes. Let me look.
Oh, it's alright. It was destined to happen.
Yeah, but at the very least, at least we got some, experience out of it.
Yeah. I got a ton.
Damn.
I got enough to actually be able to do a land doctrine research for not absurd expensive.
Not bad.
Yeah, you want to talk about what is one of the nastiest national spirits to have? It's Victors of the Great War. Because you've spent, what, an extra 8% on land doctrine research right now because of Officers Purged?
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent 75.
Fuck that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's absolutely brutal.
Damn, son. NKVD, Trotskyite plot purged, and Homeland Revolution. Yeah, no, we're sitting pretty right now. We're sitting pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'd say you're doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to that for a little while.
Right. Gain a research slot. Yeah, nice. Nice. Damn, I'm waiting for it to roll over to 1938 so I can actually start researching good shit again.
Same, honestly.
So, because there's only so much that I can, do right now. Hold on. 27, 28, 29, 30. Because it's so close, And Wooshki, there we go. Cool. Let's start researching the good shit again. 38.
Computing machine.
Yep, that's literally what I was waiting on.
Royce!
Oh, by the way, should I start building a secondary army too? Is that a thing I should do?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Motives, possible that you might recognize it as someone with a...
Готов!
But no, if I do this right, it's possible for me to get compliance all the way back up to an absurd level.
Готов выдвигаться.
Mm-hmm.
And if I get it to 80%, I can form collaboration governments in all of my occupied territory.
Ooh.
So that is the goal right now. Oh yeah, Spain's done. I can stop releasing them.
Nice.
So anyways, Spanish Civil War. It always starts out as Republican Spain versus Nationalist Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Anarchist uprising usually happens around the 8-month mark of the war. And then, depending on if you're historical, Nationalist Spain will usually not see the Carlist uprising.
Right.
Готов выдвигаться.
If you're playing as Spain, or if you're doing ahistorical, it's very possible to see the Carlist uprising, in which case it becomes a 4-way civil war.
Oh, wow.
Royce!
As it becomes the Nationalists against the Carlists against the Anarchists against the Republicans.
Damn.
And it's absolutely wild.
Sounds like it. Let's see. Okay. Now, you said... Let's make a nut... You said division designer with... What was it again? 40? 20? No.
20 to start with, and then expand to 40 as you have the army
20
experience.
to start with. Okay. And then 1 support artillery?
You can only do the support artillery for... on the... are you talking about the support side? Because you only have the option to do it once.
Yeah, support side. Yeah.
Then yeah, you can do that. You can also add them to the lines, though, and have just line artillery as well.
Okay.
It just replaces one of your helmets that you have. And if you're doing that, you want to do 7 to 2.
7 to 2. Okay.
7 helmets, 2 artillery.
7 helmets, 2 artillery. Okay, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Okay. So let's get rid of you. Okay, I think I did it right. All right, combat width 20, soft attack 107. Does that sound about right?
Yep, about that.
All right, I'm gonna name you secondary footy boys.
Yeah, you'll hear that as jargon called the 7-2 for if you're ever on posts or listening to people talk in their playthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what most people use whenever they're up against the AI. 14-4s are the expanded version of that. Is basically 2 7-2s stapled together.
Oh wow.
Oh, think about it. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh no, very much so. Very much so.
But 40 width is usually the way to go for most, if you get the opportunity to. In my case, as France, I'm not going to have that option because I don't have the manpower or the equipment.
Right.
So I have to make do with what I have. Speaking of which,
Why didn't I do
we're
that?
probably going to have to call it pretty soon
Oh, that's fine.
because Karen just got back with food for everyone. So
Oh yay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Because I mean, I need to start putting more stock into my artillery stuff too. So I'll just. This has been very illuminating, to be quite honest with you. It's been very, very helpful. Just
so
learning
let's go
shit.
ahead and save.
Yeah, let's go and do that.
And we're saved, so I can exit.
All right. Cool. Cool.
And this is going to be me hopping off, so I will talk to you later.
All right. Later, my guy.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, if you like the stream, go and like and subscribe. All that fun stuff. Follow me on social media at DManXD007. And if you miss my streams, no big deal, because you can catch them the very next day over on YouTube as well. Now, coming up next week, it is the return of Fright Night Fridays with Tick. Also, I mean, more are going to keep going on with Yakuza. Hopefully, going to push forward in Kingdom Hearts 3 critical mode as well. Wednesday, obviously, we're just going to be with the Starfall guys all over again, doing some more D&D stuff. I'm also hoping to, on Wednesdays, possibly Thursdays, having at least maybe like 2 streams, maybe, something like that, depending on scheduling, all that other shit. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come up. But stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you all in the next one.